So welcome everybody, and thanks Amy for being here as well. What we're going to do here is, how many of you are actually would qualify yourself and say, yeah, I'm a seasoned senior? Who here would say that that's who they are? Let me check in the chat too, just to see. Because we had a few people saying, oh, yeah, I'm 52, can I get in? Or I'm 49, can I get in? Right? Are you guys, I think they define a senior as somebody who's 55. Carol English, man, I got you beat, lady. You're just a spring chicken. Yeah. Valerie, right. So we're over there. Okay. So what I want to do is, this is a little bit different than things I normally do, but when you get older yourself, you begin to think about what matters and what doesn't matter. And one of the reasons I address this to seniors and seasoned seniors in particular, is that, age gives you perspective. There's something about it, and that you don't have when you're 20, you don't have when you're 30, and often even 40. And one of the things I wanted to do is see how many of you who have kind of lost perspective, you're like all over the place, and you're ready to say, okay, let's sit back, take a pause, take a deep breath, several of them, and see what really we want to make of ourselves the second half or third half of our lives. I mean, I've done a lot of things since I was 50, since I was 60, since I even got to 70. So that's who I'm looking at. Is this you in the group? Are you guys at that place where this is something that you're ready to do, so that the rest of what you've got left is going to be something that you plan, where you're not overwhelmed, where you're not feeling frenzied with the constant empty hype that I've been on everybody's shows this year, $2,950, pay the money and you just pay it, and then automatically you're going to have your destiny, or you're going to have your own future. How many of you have discovered you pay all this money for all this stuff, and then there's, oh my God, there's 30 hours worth of videos in this program and 40 hours worth of videos in that program. By the time you would spend 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months just watching all the stuff. And there's no support. Of course not. There's never the kind of support you want or that is useful, right? People are helping each other in the group, and they don't know what they're doing. It's the blind leading the blind, right? So I think that that's what this is for. That's why I called it for seasoned seniors. The webinar is really for you, and how to choose what to decide, how to do it, so that you won't regret the decisions that you make from this point on. Does that make sense? Okay, because how many of you bought 10 things and you're not using any of them? All right, so here we go. If you have had it if this is you now, you bought too many programs. How many of you have bought too many, or bought programs you never even opened them up yet? Who's that? Are we there? Let me make sure we got this. How about, and of course, what does it mean happens to you? You're totally on overwhelm. How many people here can overload, overwhelm, don't even know where to start, right? And so many comments in all these groups that I'm in, I don't know where to start. How do I start? Does somebody 61, can we really do this? Did I buy the wrong thing? I feel like an idiot, right? This is so there. So you make decisions you regret. How many of you have bought programs and you think, if I saved all the money and did one thing and focused, or if I saved all my energy, you went to 10 companies, 10, 11, 12, 14 companies, and you're nowhere at any of them, right? Because you're, oh, that looks good. You make a little more, so let me go for that one. Then you spend 6 months there. And then, oh no, not that one. This one's really better. And it has more pay, and the upline promises the moon. So you go, and you've done like 3, 4 years, and you're like a little bit at all these places and no big anywhere. Right? How many times? Oh my gosh, right? And we're human. This is why we do this. It's not like I'm immune. Why do you think I know this so well? Hello. So I want to teach you a decision-making process. There are different people who have achieved incredible amounts on our planet in the same time frame that we have. And I want to show you one of these, because the program I'm going to offer you at the end, it's very low ticket. So don't freak. We're not going to do some $5,000 or $10,000 thing. It's very small, because it's designed to help you decide what you want to do with the rest of your life. without the frenzied stuff, right? It's too much stuff to learn. Yeah, well, you don't need to learn that much if you order it the right way. But I'm going to show you that. I'm glad you brought that up, Mark. Making decisions. All right. How many of you have made a lot of decisions that you wish you hadn't made? As far as building a business, buying programs, joining people, let me hear. Yes or no? Yes, you made decisions that you regret. So what you want to do, particularly with life decisions, not like what color to paint the wall, because what's the big deal? You paint the wall, you don't like it, paint another color. You don't like the shirt, get another one. But decisions about where you're going to go, who you're going to marry, what kind of business you want, who you want to help, how you want to see yourself. How do you want to see yourself when you're at the end of your life? You're somebody who, what? Who's that person that you want to see, right? So I'm going to show you a decision process that Jeff Bezos has used. He uses constantly, but the first time he used it that we know about, that he told us about, is when he decided whether or not he should even build or start Amazon. Some of you may know this, some of you might not, but Amazon was started about 30 years ago, and 25 years, 1992 or 3, I think. And at the time, Bezos was an investment banker at an investment firm I believe in New York City, someplace over there in the East Coast. And he was making very good money, and he was supposed to get a bonus for staying that year at that place. And he learned about the internet, which kind of started coming around in the early 90s. And he thought, somebody said, what do you know about the internet? He said, I don't know. What kind of like, how does it work? What's the internet, right? This is way back then. We know now, but we didn't then. People didn't know then. And they said, well, it's this place where you could maybe buy and sell stuff online. And he thought, well, you wouldn't do investment banking because nobody would trust anybody to give you money. At that time, PayPal didn't even exist yet, right? So he talked to some people about the possibility of the internet for business. That's how new it was. And so he thought, well, what should I do? Should I start? He decided first, if I were to get into an online business, which is what you should think about, is what should you sell? Now, he was a products person, like books online, not like a specific skincare product. His thing was selling books online versus selling, I don't know, cameras online, but his thing was books. And he thought, well, selling books online would be good because I don't have to store them. I can get them from other places. So I could start an online book selling business. That's how it started. It used to be called the Earth's largest bookstore until somebody sued him. I forget, Barnes & Noble said you have to say the world's biggest online bookstore, right? This is the process he used, and I recommend that you use it for not only the offer I'm making you at the end of this call, but anything that is going to require time, energy, and money from you. Before you say yes, go through these questions I'm going to give you now. Are you ready for this? Tell me yes. Why you're in. Take them down. This is what Steve Jobs uses, the same one. We have a lot of, I'm going to teach you these in the program I'm going to offer you here at the end, but this is one I want you to make right now so you can test it on yourself right now. Hey, Barb, good to see you. So here's how you make a decision. You need to separate yourself from your mind. So you hold your head up here, you hold your hands, your brain's in there, right? Your body's in there. That's kind of you. And what you want to do is just pretend that you're going to separate for a minute so you can tell your mind something that it's going to do before you decide. Does that sound, is that too woo-woo for you? Could you do that? Say, brain, I'm going to make a decision here, but I want you to go through this process, 3 steps. Could you do that? Okay, brain, we're trying to decide. We're going to buy Kim's super cool program. Here are the steps we're going to take. Are you ready? Got it? Say yes. And you got to stay sober for this. All right. He gave 3 directives to his mind. So you're telling your mind, before you decide, brain, here's what I want you to ask. Answer these questions, and then we'll decide together what we're going to do. Okay, this is what he used to start his business, what he used to acquire every business that Bezos and Amazon have bought over the years, why they own just about everything in the world that sells anything, and everything wants to go through Amazon. These are the questions he asked. All right. So note two things here. He gave these 3 directives to his mind. I'm going to give them to you. Then he used the outcome to decide whether he should start his online book selling idea and many other big decisions. And he also knew that he would never regret failing at it. I'm going to show you how this works right now. Okay. You want to see it? Here we go. Okay. Number 1, before you make the decision, project yourself to age 80. Now, some of you, Heather, 6 a.m. Yeah, really. Well, I guess some people have trouble, right? So you know what I mean. Don't be doing 5 other things. Because if you are, you're basically drunk. Project yourself to age 80. How many of you think you're going to be older than 80? And what number are you going to be? What do you think? 100? Shall we say, okay, we got 95, 100, 105. Let's say 100. Shall we say that? That's good. Don't you worry. Are we ready? Shall we say project yourself to age 100? Can we all do this? Do this right now. I'm going to have you do it at the end, believe me. This is how you're going to decide whether you're going to buy my stuff, and it's how you should decide whether you buy anybody's stuff, where the stuff helps you become a better person, a better marketer, a better contributor, a better impactor in this world. Okay, so it's not whether you should buy M&M's brown or M&M's yellow. It doesn't require this. Project yourself to age 80. Imagine looking back on your life, 100. Project yourself to age 100. We're there. Imagine looking back on your life at that age. Can you do that? Just do that right now. You're now 100 and you're looking back. You don't have to be on a deathbed. You don't just, you're 100 years old and you know it's going to be close to over here, at least this pass. Okay. Now you ask yourself, in X years, and X is the number between your age right now and let's say 100. We already made this. We said, okay, we're doing 100. So you ask yourself, let's say that you are 55 right now, and let's say in 45 years, you'll be 100. Let's say you're 65. In 35 years, right? That's X. Because if you're 65 now, the distance between you and 100 is 35 years. Are you with me? Say yes. Y, N. Anybody not there? Because I know we're seniors, so we might be a little slower on the draw here. Okay, so say you're 65. So in 35 years, or say you're 75, in 25 years, will I regret taking this action or will I regret not taking this action? Will I regret taking it or will I regret that I didn't take it? Does that make sense to you? Tell me yes, if it does. So there's no value. When I'm 100, 35 years from now, and I look back at my life, at my decisions, am I going to say, oh man, I wish I hadn't done this? Or, oh man, I wish I had? Which one? Okay, this is, the whole focus of this is to have the fewest regrets when you're going to check out about the big things. We don't remember the small things. Okay, I want to be sure that you get this. Yes or no? Will I regret starting an online bookstore and getting myself into it? Or will I regret not ever starting an online bookstore and getting into it? That's what he asked himself. That is the process. Are you with me? So either way, there's no value. Would you, yes or no, whether you did it or you didn't, would you regret either one or the other? Okay. So this, project yourself to age 80. Imagine looking back on your life at that age. All right, ask yourself in so many years, you know, between now and the end of your life, will I regret taking this action or will I regret that I did not take this action? Y'all clear? Say yes. Okay. Use these directives for anything major, any program that you're going to buy. So if you're sitting there, you're looking at 3 different programs, one of Tony Robbins, another one of Dean Graziosi, another one from The Worries, another one from Pedro, another one from, you name it. Are you going to sit there and think, okay, now, will I, if you go through this process and you buy 3 of these big programs at the same time, what do you think the answer is going to be? Will you likely regret that you did that? Or would you regret that you did not do that? Particularly if you get them all at once, right? Overwhelm. Okay, so this is the process, is what you want to do. because it gives you perspective. It also tells you who you want to see yourself as. What kind of a person do you want to see that you are? You don't want to regret. Doing or not doing, either one is a regret, okay? So if you want to feel confident that you were meant to do your thing, which we're going to talk about right here, if you look forward to learning how to do it, and I'm talking about your business, whatever your business is or that you're planning on, or that you're going to change or restart, whatever, do you want to feel confident that you were meant to do your thing, yes or no? Y or N? Moving on now. Do you want to look forward to learning how to do it better? Or are you going to keep on looking for the quick tricks? Do you want to look forward to learn how to do it better, yes or no? So you can be focused for once. We're going to get good at this thing. Notice Bezos had just one online store. He didn't go from books for the first year or two. It was just building up that whole thing. He could have chosen to market everything, but they didn't, because focus is essential to success. That means you say no to everything except the one thing that you've chosen. We're going to give you criteria here to help you choose. So you quit choosing everything because you can't do everything. You love what you do, and you love what your thing can do for others, and you are consumed with it, and you have happy blinders on. How many people want to be at that place? You want happy blinders. So you stop looking around at every other damn thing thinking, oh, I should do that. Oh, I should do that. Oh, I should do that. Right? You want to quit doing that. Because if you love your thing and you're consumed, you will put on your happy blinders. Happy blinders. Happy blinders. Because you know, you see, you have that confidence. You just went through the Bezos questions about your life and looking at yourself when you're 100. Are you going to have regrets or not? Okay. Doing it or not doing it. What I want to do is have you picture that you become the shiny object that other people want. What if instead of chasing all the shiny objects, you become one because you're so focused and so determined and so consumed, and you become that shiny object that people come to you because you're such a good shiny object, right? You're not going to be that if you're everywhere. You'll just be an everywhere type of person. So we want you to become the shiny object that other people want. Who's up for that? Who wants to be the shiny object for other people? Because you're so good and so focused, because you've kept your happy blinders on. Let our light shine. Yeah, absolutely. I have that song, that little Bible song, I'm going to let it shine. And the words are just, they're wonderful. And you can never let your light shine if you're taking your little light and putting it on 15 things. Who's going to see it? It gets snuffed out every third one, right? So you want to think about that because you're following a singular path that is consistent with who you are and what you want most in your life. So this is all about you, you, you. Are you there? It's about you. All right. So I want to offer you something that will help you decide how to choose now that you know better than to chase shiny objects for the best part of your life. I mean, you want to look back and think, I was a really good shiny object chaser. Is that what you want? When you're 100? What do you think about that? I chased objects all my life. I never did achieve anything. Who wants that, right? You want this. All right, good. So what I'm going to show you is a couple of you here, not too many, but some of you here did a challenge with us called the End of Rejection Challenge. And we are building on that. I'm going to offer you a special version of that. And we're building onto a whole experience with that so that you can do this. But this one I'm giving you right now, which is the first part 1, which you must complete in order to be able to be eligible for the experience, which is the big version of it, but this is the mini version of it. If you already have it, because you have everything from the previous one, you don't need to do anything with this. If you're an ambassador for it, you can give your link because I want to show you how you can be an ambassador. So if you have this particular program, you don't need to buy the program. If you got it when we first started it and you bought all the options. If you did not buy all the options, then you don't have the complete program. This is the beginning, like I said, of an experience. We want to give people who are on this track, who want to become a shiny object to other people and who want to put their happy blinders on because they want to know once and for all, this is what I'm doing with the rest of my life, so I make an impact. A lot of people made an impact after 60, like Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I think he started when he was 63 or 64. Ray Kroc, McDonald's was in his late 50s. I mean, he built McDonald's is a huge empire. So don't think you can't do it, but you can't do it if you keep buying every single thing out there. You just can't. You can't. You gotta sit down here and screw your butt to the chair with what you want. All right. So here's what I'm going to give you to help you decide for any program that you're thinking about, including our own, because it doesn't matter. It's about you. You need to make an impact, and you can't do it without happy blinders on. So here's how you get the blinders. Rejection is the #1 killer of hope and dreams in our industry. You get 3 no's and you're done. You agree with that? Rejection? Grandma Moses was 89 years old when she first touched her. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Hey, Nikki, good to see you. Yeah, so rejection is the #1 killer of the hopes and dreams and the people who start businesses, network marketing businesses, affiliate businesses of their own. Would you say, are you, yes or no? If you get too many of them, you're out. So what we want to do, and so we have a way to help you decide what your calling actually is. Because once you start your calling and you set it up right, your rejection drops to almost nothing, because we're going to show you how to position yourself so that people who are looking for you and what you can do come right away. They don't say no because they're looking for you. Do you see the difference? And you can't do that if you're everywhere flitting about like, you know, some crazy person, because you don't make any impact when you're in 3 deals. How can you make any impact? You're busy watching 30 hours of videos for each one, right? Trying not to fall asleep. So we have put together the End of Rejection Challenge, and I'm going to show you what that is here. You can do it in 5 days, and it will help you decide what and how and who you're going to be and how you're going to impact your world and the world of other people out there between, you know, now and the day that you sign up for it in the program here. So 5 days, let me tell you what's coming. The first day is basically is imagination. We show you here, this is the area, the what do you call it, the members area. When you sign up for the program, this is what you're going to get at 5 days. See on the left here, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, right? You see all that? This is the video. And for each of these sessions, there's a PDF exercise. There is an audio. So you only have the audio in case you don't feel like watching the video. And there's a transcription of it. The first day is imagination. And we show you there how you have your own imagination. You probably haven't used it in a long time, but how, when you use it, information comes from your imagination to tell you what your past should be. There's a very specific technique to doing this, very specific strategy. And the people we learned it from are among the best alpha mind type people in the world. It sounds a little woo-woo. It is a little woo-woo. But if it can get you to what you really, your core thing, what are you about? What do you really want? Isn't that something you want to know now before you buy anything else? Yes or no? Right? Don't you want to know? Instead of having no clue and just, oh, that's money and there's money. I mean, if you really want to earn money, you could clean homes. You could buy a run a restaurant. You can clean stuff. You can take in ironing. I guess people do that. You can babysit. You can, there's a lot. But if you want something where you feel like, I want to do something, I want to have had an impact, this is what we're talking about, okay? So that's the first part. You're going to learn how to do that. This is for day 1, the imagination. The video is about an hour. Each of them runs between an hour and an hour and a half, and then you do the exercise, okay? And in the group, the Facebook group that you joined, you put your stuff in there. We actually help you with it, including me and Amy and other people. And the people we have are quite good. They're not a bunch of people that don't know anything and give you wrong advice. All right, day 2. Day 2 is faith. Now, this is not religious faith of, you know, like, it's the principle of faith is based on us knowing as human beings that things have happened that were really quite good that we really didn't do much to get. How many of you have had experiences like that? Where something happens and it's like you got 10 times more than you thought, right? Like, oh, it isn't going to snow on the way up, and then you go skiing and suddenly there's a blizzard. After you parked your car, you're safely in your house, you got your fire going in your cabin, and suddenly 10 feet of snow and you got snow for that, like that, right? And so we know that things happen that are more than what we personally made happen. And we have a way to show you here how, if you use and build, you don't really even build it, but the perspective of faith is not that you have faith. Of course you want that. If you don't have faith, you're screwed. You're not going to do anything, right? Why are you going to do anything if you don't have faith? It's going to turn out to be something. But it's faith of other sources that we do not know, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, that, Goethe said, if you're bold, it's as if the universe somehow comes around to support you. And that's why people like Steve Jobs, they grew so exponentially. John Rockefeller, when he was in his 90s, he was the richest man in the world, even though they broke up the company because he owned stock in all the companies. They had built everything. And he said, somebody said, how did you get so much money? He said, I don't know. I think God gave it to me so I could give it away. So he said, God favored me because he knew I would be good at doing this. And then he probably figured out I'm going to give most of it away as well. Do you see what I mean with that? This is what you need to have so that you can believe that you're going to fly. You have that, and this gives you wind beneath your wings. All right, day 3. This is connection. Okay, this is where we get down to a little bit more nitty gritty, like, who do you want to help? What kind of people do you want to help? Are you somebody who wants to go to Doctors Without Borders and you're one of those, right? Or are you somebody who wants to help women who feel horrible and like they're going to be unloved because their skin looks so crappy? Is that what your thing is? And so you're looking for women who feel unloved and feel like they're never going to be gorgeous and never going to be wanted, let's say, because their skin looks crappy. If you offer that and there's a woman who is out there looking for that, not the skincare, but being loved, being cared for, being beautiful again, being chased again, being whistled at again, and you put those two together, you're going to connect, right? So that's you, what you can do, and what they're looking for. I'll tell you right now, nobody's ever looking for your skincare product unless somebody's is a celebrity and they say, I want to know whatever Kim Kardashian's got, I'll take that. But short of that, nobody looks for a product. They look for these things that make their life better. Feeling loved, feeling sexy, feeling honored, feeling recognized, right? So that's what you get here. I'll show you how to do that. And you get the challenge, so you can learn how to do this. All right, day 4 is how to become an advisor and to be seen as an advisor. And again, with each of these, there's a PDF exercise. So you get to practice doing it. You get the MP3 and you get the transcription of the class. So you can just read it for those of us who like to read. Okay. All right. Day 5, the Sensodyne shirt. This is where you get to do the exercise of, if you think of the toothpaste example on the shelf, there are like dozens and dozens and dozens of brands of toothpaste. And they all are in business. They all make millions of dollars. And they all have their market, their clientele, right? And so if you are looking, Sensodyne, some of you may know that, is for people that have sensitive gums. It is not for people who are looking for certified organic toothpaste. It is also not for people who are looking for toothpaste that is tooth whitener type. It's also not for people who are looking for a spray toothpaste, like somebody had spray vitamins. It's for people who have sensitive gums. Do you see what I mean? So once you are clear about your direction, your mission, your impact, you want to put on that shirt so that people who are looking for that's the one I want, give me that one. You see, does that make sense? Say yes or no if you get this. Tell me that you get this. Hey, Carrie, good to see you. All right, good. All right, so I'm going to give you the surprisingly modest price here in just a second. I just want to tell you we have 2 bonuses for you. And the reason is that I am so keen on helping you make good decisions, not only about this, but the bigger experience program coming, or any other program that you take or path that you take, which as a senior, a seasoned senior, you're not going to sit back and say, okay, I got some time. The kids are gone. Maybe you kicked the husband out because, who knows what happened to him, or maybe he's even supportive, right? But you don't have the responsibilities you had before. You can now think, what are the next 10 or 20 years? What could I do even in 5 years? If you completely focus and you have your happy blinders on, right? That is what we're looking for. Hey, Gary, good to see you. So the Mr. Rogers bonus. Mr. Rogers had a TV program, and years ago he went to the Senate to get money for it because they were going to take his money away. And he spoke for 6 minutes. I have done a complete analysis. Every time I see it, I cry. Every time. I've seen it hundreds of times. It doesn't matter when I see it. I can't help it. The language is the most beautiful, non-hypey, non-bloated. There's not a single word a 13-year-old doesn't understand, not one. And he got $20 million in 6 minutes, flat. So I give you not only the video, but the analysis, the breakdown, the transcription, so you can use exactly, yeah, if you didn't get the whole thing, Heather, that's right. That's right, but hang on, because there's something coming for you as well. So that's the Mr. Rogers bonus. I think we sell the class for like a couple $100 in the program. But the value is if you can learn to talk like Mr. Rogers about what his mission was and about what he cared about and what his concerns were for the future of children in our country. If you learn from that, you will never need anything from anybody. It's just very hard to do because you got to focus. It means happy blinders, remember? Now here's the surprise. I have a nutritionist whose name is Dr. Heidi, and she has 3 books on Amazon. She's my personal nutritionist, and she also has a doctorate from Harvard in human development. She's a very big person on eating. And there are a lot of people here and a lot of people that we just know who don't really know what to eat. And so she's going to give a live session to the first 20 people who come into this program to show you how to eat for energy and peak performance. That's it, how to eat for energy and peak performance. There's 4 steps that she has that you can implement. And, you know, when she has one-on-ones with people and she does the coaching with people, everybody pays $4,000 to $8,000. But I talked to her and said, you know, one of the problems people have is that people say, well, I'm like you. How many of you feel tired at 3 o'clock? You feel tired when you wake up. What do you mean do all this stuff? How can I focus? I'm so tired. And, you know, you look at what you eat and then you say, oh, you know, that's probably making me tired. Many people don't realize that what they eat makes them tired. What they eat makes you not sleep well. And so there's certain foods to eat for maximum energy and peak performance. How many people would like to be in that session with her? Let me hear. Why? Just say yes. Okay. All right. So here's the program. And the link, Amy, is going to be the same. Hey, Elka, good girl. Yeah, you're going to like Dr. Heidi. Everybody likes her. I mean, everybody loves her is what they do. So the order form for this program, the cost for this 5-day program with all the stuff that you saw, I don't flip, it's very modest, but we decided we wanted to see who really wants to learn how to have an impact for the rest of their days. That's why we call it for the seasoned seniors. It's $147. Okay, and then, like I said, the first 20 people who do this, the link here is called End of Rejection. Vic, Amy, maybe you can put that in there. It's the same. It should go to the same place. Why don't you check it? endofrejection.com. Now we have, how many of you feel like there are people that you might know that should know about this program in case they're seniors, they're seasoned seniors, and they're ready to settle down, put the happy blinders on and make a decision about what they're going to do, how they're going to help, how they're going to contribute, how they're going to make whatever amount of money they want, helping certain types of people with certain kinds of things. Who here would say, yes, there are people like that, and I'd like to at least show them the option, show them this video. Who says yes? Let me say why. Okay, because what we have is we created an ambassador program. So if you own the program, you can buy this one, obviously, or if you own the full program from before, the program is $147 for these 5 days that I just showed you, and for the reasons that I showed you above, right? Valerie, oh Val, get yourself in here, honey. Heidi's gonna love talking to you. $147 for the 5-day program. If you become an ambassador, you know, an ambassador affiliate, and you put somebody in here and they buy the program, they pop you back $47. who would like to get $47 for referring somebody to this program? Because it might actually help them. Let me see a Y for a yes. Okay, so Elka, get in here so you can be one of those people. And Marie, I think you did the program, but you can definitely become an affiliate for sure. Yeah, that's what we have here. I just want to be sure that you see this. And that's what I've got for you today. It's what I wanted to share with you. Okay. All right, do you have questions for me? What do you think about this idea? Do you think that you would be able to help if you learned to put on happy blinders? Do you think you would be better off as a person if you became somebody that was really focused and made a contribution? Would it make contribution easier if you focused on fewer things instead of all these things? Because once you go through this, you know, where you go through the imagination, what do you think happened with the imagination? That's how they got from, in the pyramid days, you know, the pharaohs had just nothing but desert, and they wanted to have some way to be remembered. So they imagined these big fat pyramids, which took tens of thousands of the slaves that they had at that time, thousands of years ago, to build. So they imagined it, and then it came to pass. Or you think about somebody like Henry Ford. They just had horses and buggies and horses and carriages to haul stuff. And he said, if somebody had asked me, if I had asked people, what would you like from me? They would have said, yes, it's going to completely help you decide. This is a decision helper program. And when you come out, you will have made a decision. I can tell you that because I'm going to see to it, and Amy will see to it, the people that are in, because that's the biggest thing in the world. You know, once you decide, you're going to be in great shape. All right. Okay, if you took the end of rejection challenge that we just completed, if you took both pieces of it so that you have all the audios and all of the stuff, then this is what you're going, then you're set. The only thing you don't end up with is Dr. Heidi's program. But if you have it all, then you have it. And probably for those of you that did get it all last time, remember you had the two pieces where you had, I think it was the 247s or something like that. If you had all of the program, then when it comes time, when Dr. Heidi does her event, we'll put you in there. So don't you worry, we're good. Yeah, because the next level up is the experience. And I think Maria already signed up for that. Okay, Val. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So the first 20 people who are in here will add those two bonuses into the program. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. Okay, cool. We are set to go. And if we put you all, for those of you that are, you should have gotten a thank you page that said, come on over into the Facebook group. So we'll be looking for you in there.